Hi, Siri. I'm looking for a new podcast, one that preferably is hosted by a UF Hall of Famer, one that airs every weekday that would bring me everything I need to know about the Florida Gators, including...
Have you heard of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or any podcast platform?
Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? UF Hall of Famer Shane Matthews has a show every weekday. I'm going to go check it out tomorrow. Thanks, Siri.
Good morning and welcome to a Thursday edition of the it's a Wednesday edition of the program.
There you go.
Caught up with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to carry. Got a good one lined up today. Got JC and myself, and Kyle Crooks will have the head coach of the Lady Gator softball team. Tim Walton will join the program, and they look for a spectacular season. They are loaded, very highly ranked, and
good.
As I always say, expect them to go to OKC. It's a given, pretty much year in and year out. JC, I lost track of my days. You're on the Titan number text line. I've been cooped up in a hotel for like 3 days because we're in a winter wonderland here.
Yeah,
in the Dallas area. Everything has been shut down because it's nothing but ice. And I think we're going to be in this hotel for 5 days until the roads and the city clears up. So it's miserable.
Yeah, they had this issue when the Super Bowl was in Dallas a couple years ago, and it can be that way over there, brother. The winter ice storm. Yes, you are right there. It is, by the way, in our neck of the woods, 80 degrees. 80 degrees, and I got in the truck yesterday after leaving the office, and it felt like 100 degrees. It felt like August. So here we are. In the summer wonderland of Gainesville. Big game tonight on campus, QB. We got Nick Saban telling players he's not going to take them because he told these two quarterbacks, dude, we're not interested. Hit the road. They wanted $800,000 to sign, and he said basically find another place or so.
Who was it?
Well, I didn't read the whole thing. I just read that that's what he told these two at the ALFCA convention on Friday of last week.
Well, he didn't tell them. He was at a convention talking to other people.
Okay. So it was quoted as on a tweet here from Darren Heitner. It says, someone with one of the best corners in the nation came to me and asked if we'd pay them $800,000 for a player to sign here. And I told him he can find another place to play. There you go. What happened to you, Shane? Where'd you go? Okay.
I'm back.
You disappeared like Captain Kirk.
Maybe we lost power here in the ice storm. I'm not sure.
What I was saying was he basically just told these folks to find another place to play. They're not going to do that. And, you can say, well, gee whiz, they'll just go play somewhere else, right? But
who cares?
$800,000. Do quarterbacks make that in the first year of a rookie contract in the NFL?
Not many.
No, they don't.
Well, here's the crazy thing. Now, just take quarterbacks out of it. Majority of the players in the National Football League don't make that in their first 3 years.
Oh, dude, these were corners, not quarterbacks. Cornerback.
Yeah, it's those people are ridiculous. People are ridiculous. It's I'll stand by it till I die. And I said it when it happened that it was the worst thing that could possibly happen to college athletics.
It'll work itself out, QB. Eventually these things do have a way of working themselves out because common sense takes over, or hopefully will take over. So we have that. We got a big basketball game tonight on campus here at UF. Some games last night. It looks like Alabama got right. At the expense of Vanderbilt. I don't know if you watched any basketball last night, QB.
I did not.
Yeah, they beat Vanderbilt by 51 points. So, they beat Vanderbilt by 57 points. Largest win in school history.
How is that possible?
I don't. Yeah, 101 to 44. It would be like, who are these guys showing up? And Jerry Stackhouse, the Vanderbilt coach, basically just said, wrong team on the wrong night, guys. So, Alabama was humbled. I think it was good for them to be beaten by Oklahoma in a weird kind of way because I think it woke them up a little bit. And certainly Vanderbilt took the brunt of that. Kentucky beat Mississippi by 9. Arkansas beat Texas A&M by 11 at home. I think that's Texas A&M's first conference loss, if I'm not mistaken. And Mississippi State beat South Carolina by 14 on the road in Columbia. I think you could probably say South Carolina would be the poorest team in the league right now. They're not.
Well, a lot of people are upset about the Gators. Whatever your thoughts are on Todd Golden, I think he's going to be a good coach. Out of all the new coaches in the league, he's had the most success. LSU's new coach, they're horrible. South Carolina has a new coach, they're horrible.
Right.
Mike White's done okay. Mike White has surpassed what they've been doing in
Georgia,
in Atlanta. I mean, in Athens, I should say.
Georgia,
So tonight is going to be very, very difficult for the Gators. But look, it's college basketball, and I told Buddy this yesterday.
Yeah.
Usually, the home teams usually win in college basketball for whatever reason. It would not shock me if the Gators won tonight.
Well, Tennessee's a 5-point favorite. You would think that they would be a bigger favorite if this game is going to be so lopsided. They're the number 2 ranked team in the country. They're probably the best team that's come here since Connecticut was here. And UConn's lost some games since they beat Florida down here. It does have a way of changing as the season goes through. And I like you, would not be overly shocked if Florida pulled it off or at least played it to the end. Played it in a close game. Tennessee is a very good team, though. Rick Barnes has got it really going there. They've had a great year. That school as a whole, that's why Danny White's gotten so much more money here recently and why things are really rosier up in Knoxville. The football team, the baseball team, and now the basketball team, all nationally highly ranked. It's been a good year for Tennessee, and it's been a long time coming, too, for that school and that athletic department. But Florida can turn it on tonight and maybe pull off the shock. It'd be the biggest upset of the night tonight, though, because of the ranking that Tennessee brings in here at number 2.
Yeah, for sure. Are you in the market to buy or sell your home? Darlene Weeby, a realtor with Caldwell Banker, M. Paris, provide you fast, friendly, reliable service. Call her today at 352-562-1411 to help your dreams come true. Got JC on the Titan More Hotline. Second portion, we'll have Tim Walton from the Florida Gators, head softball coach. We got a text on the Titan More text line. This is from Alan in Atlanta, referring to the spring game. He says, I've enjoyed trips to the spring game in the years past, but ultimately football is about attracting students to enroll at UF. I guess they believe the national TV exposure is more important than fans in the stadium. I suspect they are correct.
Oh, gosh.
Well, I'm going to say that the spring game has zero to do with your student body. Because our student, people that listen to this show year in and year out know how I feel about the student body and the admissions at the University of Florida. It's absolutely ridiculous and stupid the way that they handle that. I'm all about being a great academic institution, but there are kids that grew up Gator fans all over the country that are great students that are being left out. So
that's right.
We don't even get on that tangent.
So what's the big hubbub about the spring game being on a Thursday night on national television?
Well, people talk, Buddy and I went at it yesterday, all in fun. He says, that the administration and coaching staff or whoever made this decision needs to take the fans in consideration with it being on a Thursday night. They're the ones that buy the tickets. I get all that. But they're doing it because they feel like it's best for the program. And again, I don't really know how many people travel to watch a spring game. I think they're silly. I think they're silly, quite honestly.
Well, so let me ask you: if you're sitting in Jacksonville, Florida, or Tampa, or Orlando, am I going to drive up here to watch that for an hour?
Well, Buddy thinks people do.
Well, I mean, maybe he knows folks who would. I understand where he's coming from with the fans, but I just don't know if it's that big a deal to get all worked up about when they played on a Thursday or Saturday. I mean, I think if I had kids, I'd probably want them to go play on Saturday, bring the kids out there, have a great time, enjoy the day, maybe see who some of these new players are. But I'm not gonna lose sleep over this.
No, I'm not either.
It's the spring game. I mean, is the spring game really a big deal here for Florida? I mean, I can't remember.
Well, he was talking about, they want to see who the quarterback's going to be. But what I told him is Max Brown, who's on the roster, also playing baseball, go out there and throw 3 touchdowns. That doesn't mean Max Brown's going to be your quarterback.
Well, and isn't today signing day, or when is signing day?
You're exactly right. I believe today is signing day, JC.
So
good job. You're a big time. You're into recruiting, I see.
Yeah, I'm so into it. I think about it 24 hours a day. Look, I think the guy who plays in the spring game may not even be the guy who plays in the fall, right? I mean, you don't know. I mean, who knows? It's so far away. But I guess with your point of view, the coach isn't going to do anything that would be deleterious to the team, right? He wouldn't do anything that would adversely affect.
No, he's doing what they think is best for the football program. They're not trying to screw the fans. They're not trying to screw anybody. So it is what it is. We got a couple of Facebook Lives on here, and I must have missed this. Andy asked on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Long. Shane, how long will it take Sean Payton to turn around the Broncos, and will it happen with Russell Wilson? Did they hire him?
They hired him, and it won't take long at all.
I don't think Russell Wilson. Well, I should say this: they have to play Russell Wilson because the money paid him.
The money, but
I think Sean Payton is outstanding. I don't think Russell Wilson fits his system at all. No.
Well, John Elway does. So,
No, well, I think they hired an extremely, really good football coach who can call plays. I have questions about Russell Wilson. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, leave it at that. But defensively, that team can play. They're ready to win now defensively. And offensively, I think that the management team has finally just got the guy they've always wanted to get. They had to give up a first-round draft pick and a second-round draft pick to the Saints. So the Saints get a pick. And another thing that happened in the NFL that's very important, especially for teams like the Saints, is that the salary cap was raised something like 15, 20-something million dollars. And it was raised. And that's going to help some of these teams that are really suffering from being up against the cap real badly. And that would include your Saints. So, they're making so much money. The NFL is clearly number one. It's the king of all sports, television-wise, revenue-wise, and basically national interest-wise. And so this is why, they're doing so well. And, for all the folks who hate Roger Goodell, I'll tell you the folks who like Roger Goodell are the ones who pay him, and those are the owners. And that's why he makes 50, 60, whatever million dollars per year. And the league is healthier right now financially than it has ever been in history. And that's mostly because of television.
Yeah, everybody on here is talking about Sean Payton with Drew Brees is outstanding. I just think, obviously Drew Brees is a Hall of Famer. There's no question about that. Outstanding player, but Sean Payton's a really good football coach.
So you don't think it's going to work for him and Russell Wilson?
I watched Russell Wilson. I've had people who are close to or who actually know people with the Broncos that he rubs people the wrong way, which publicly you don't see that, but they said privately he does. But if you go back and you watch him play at Seattle, and he had a lot of success, majority of it was on scrambles.
Mm-hmm.
If you make him drop back and read stuff, he's not that great. So we'll see. We got a text here on the Titan MR text line. Chris from Cottondale. He says, JC's acting like Saban isn't going to pay a kid before he proves himself is laughable. Saban has been paying recruits money forever. Difference is upfront money and contract money. Short game, long game. Saban is a hypocrite.
Oh, Chris from Cottonwood must be an Auburn fan. I feel sorry for you, Chris. But the bottom line is that Nick Saban is going to do whatever he feels is best for that program, right? And anyone who's going to argue with him about the success they've had there is not a hypocrite, but a fool, okay? So, whether he's paid him under the table, whether he hasn't paid him under the table, nobody's going to be able to prove that one way or the other at this point. So why not just bring it out? And he basically said, we're not going to give him $800,000. And, if Chris from Cottonwood wants to go root for Auburn on Saturday, enjoy your 6-5 seasons. You've had four coaches in 5 years, 3 coaches in 4 years. It's a great program there. So enjoy it. Watch what they do in Tuscaloosa. I get it. I don't blame you. The quarterback position there is one I'm curious about. Who's going to play?
Are you curious about your quarterback position?
Sure. Yeah, Ty Simpson or as you say,
there's no way.
PJ Yeldon.
If Jalen Milroe, there is no way. Now, who does Alabama open up with? Like Montana State or somebody, or they got a real game?
Montana State. We usually open up with a very good competitive.
Well, I'm asking, who is it?
I'll have to tell you here.
I mean, you should know your schedule, JC.
So
my point is, I would say if Alabama had opened up with a so-called cupcake, they would play Jalen Milroe and then kind of gradually work him to another position. But there's no way. Have y'all heard offensive coordinator yet?
No.
Okay. There's no way
y'all
the new offensive coordinator and Nick Saban lines him up at quarterback. No way.
Well,
no way.
There's still some questions to be answered. I mean, we're so far away from the season. Yeah, August is a long, long way away. Although, can you believe how fast January went by? 31 days in January, and it's already February the 1st, QB. I mean, February is a tough month. The mortgage payment's due 3 days earlier than usual. February sucks. But no, it's going to be great watching the basketball teams separate themselves. As far as football goes, spring practice in March is coming. What? Well, they'll figure it out. I just don't know who this guy Simpson, this kid Simpson at Alabama is supposed to be a really good player. So we'll see.
Text on the Titan More text line from an anonymous texter. He says, who cares about that spring game? Being on Thursday probably puts us on ESPN instead of it not being televised and more opportunity to get more recruits to the game with no other big programs having their games that night. Yeah. I mean, what I try to say is
that's what it's about.
We don't know their reasoning, but I can promise you that Scott Strickland or the Phil Farr Gator boosters or Billy Napier, head football coach, are not trying to screw the fans by having a game on Thursday night.
So why was Buddy so upset? He was upset because he didn't think fans could come watch the game. Is that what he was arguing about?
He was saying that you got to remember, fans are the ones that buy the tickets, and if you screw them where they can't come on a Thursday night, but again, it is a glorified practice that does absolutely nothing for me.
Nothing for me, yeah. So Middle Tennessee State, baby, shows up to Tuscaloosa.
Okay, so Jalen Milroe may get the first quarter.
Yeah, well, they better do something because Texas is in town the following week. So, look, Georgia gets Ball State, Tennessee State, or somebody UT Martin, I believe. And Georgia's out of conference schedule. Georgia's going to be there again this year. Jesus, I mean, they're going to be there, right? They're going to be there.
They're not going anywhere. I can tell you that.
Have you seen their schedule? Now look at Georgia's schedule. Holy cannoli!
Joseph, I like Joseph's text, Facebook Live message here. Joseph says the Gators got 99 problems, but what day the spring game is ain't the problem.
Well, I think Buddy just wanted to come to Gainesville on Saturday and watch the Gators. What's wrong with that? Well, who the hell wants to go watch a game on Thursday night on campus? I mean, come on. Well, you can watch it on TV, Buddy. It's okay, my man. I love Buddy. He's one of my favorite all-time Gators. But he's upset that they're playing on Thursday night. He'll be all right. I promise you, when it comes close time of game, he'll be excited to turn it on.
I think there'll be plenty of people there. We just got a text saying there'll be 30 or 40,000. They'll be there. So
the Gators got 99 problems in one spring game.
Yeah, it's true though. Who gives a damn when they play? JC, before we jump into golf and our Peachland Dental picks,
all right.
The Super Bowl, we're a week and a half away or what have you.
Yeah.
Where are you leaning right now?
I'm leaning on Philly only because Kansas City is so beaten up right now.
Yeah, but okay, hang on a second.
Okay.
They were beaten up going into the game against the Bengals. Okay.
Yeah.
Now they have an extra week to rest.
True.
Do you think they're not? This is Super Bowl, JC. Do you think they're not going to be ready to play?
No, they will be. They will be. Right now the momentum behind Philadelphia. Well, plus we got 3 Alabama guys starting on offense for Philadelphia. How can I not like that? But I am a huge admirer of Patrick Mahomes. I've always thought he was the best quarterback in the NFL, and I still think he is. And I certainly think that if Kelsey is healthy with his back issues, the Chiefs with their defense and Chris Jones, this is going to be – I really think this is going to be one of the better Super Bowls you're going to watch, because Philly and Kansas City are both very physical on defense, but I'm leaning on Philadelphia right now. I'm leaning Philly.
Okay.
But I mean, how can you go against Pat Mahomes? My God. I mean,
It's hard. It's hard.
He's a winner, man. He's a great winner. He's a great winner. Yeah, you did say that. You've been saying that for years about Patrick Mahomes. You also said 3 years ago, you said, if I had to start a team with any player in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes would always be my first guy. And then for some reason, you changed that to Josh Allen this year. But I think you did. I mean,
I don't know if I did. I mean, I'm crazy if I did. I mean, I still think Josh Allen is outstanding.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
But anyway, let's see. We got one more text, and then we're going to get to
Brady retired, by the way, QB.
He did?
Yeah, he's retired.
You can see I had no idea. Even though I've been hunkered down in a winter wonderland. I didn't know that. He needed to retire.
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't want to get hit. He's 45 years old. Come on, Tom.
So now what's interesting is
who's going to play for
have the Bucks hired an OC yet?
I don't think so.
Because they fired Byron Leftwich.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting now to see, are they going to are they going to go young and let Kyle Trask take over, or are they going to draft somebody, or are they going to let Blaine Gabbert do it? So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But Chris says he's responding to you, JC, on the.
Oh, here we go. The Auburn fan. The Auburn.
He says I'm definitely not an Auburn fan. Gator through and through. Watch Shane in his spring game debut. Don't come at me, JC. Your guy's a hypocrite and not a real one like Spurrier, and it's Cottondale in Florida, not Cottonwood in Alabama. What a bum.
So he said. So he gets pissed off. What did I say? He was from Cottonwood. He's from Cottondale. Look, I'm fine with you, Chris. It's all good. But you can criticize Nick Saban all you want, but you're the one looking silly. So
all right, let's get to the Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte surrounding areas. Visit them at peachlanddental.com for our AT&T Pebble Beach golf picks, which I just slaughtered you last week.
Yeah, you picked. You had 3 guys in the top 5. I think that's been
and the guy that won it. So I don't know if that's historical moment right there on the Pot Up show.
History has been made, and but for the past 2 weeks, we each picked the eventual winner of the tournament. So I'd say we know our stuff. Okay.
All right. So I'm being nice. I'm supposed to get first pick, but I'm gonna let you have the first pick, JC.
Why do you let me have the first pick?
Okay, then I will take the first pick. I will take. I will take Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, that's what you suck. Matthew Fitzpatrick. All right, that's exactly who I was going to take. Gosh darn. Okay, you got me. You got me again. It's unbelievable. All right, I'm going to take Jordan Spieth.
All right, you're going with a well-known guy. My next pick is going to be.
You got a U.S. Open champion, dude. You're telling me he's not well-known? The guy you just picked.
No, I said you're taking a well-known guy.
Yeah, and so did you.
But if you go back, it seems like all these dudes that nobody that follows golf usually wins these events, especially the AT&T. So I'm going to go with Nick Taylor.
Okay, Nick Taylor.
Like I said, nobody's ever heard of him.
It's a household name. Well, Nick Taylor, there he is. He's from Canada. You got a Canadian golfer. Okay, very good.
Englishman.
Yeah.
A Canadian.
Yeah. I'm going to go. This is one that's probably a really bad pick, but I bet you he finishes in the top 10. I'm taking Matt Kuchar.
All right, Kuchar. Old guy. You're going. Okay, my last pick, I'm taking Troy Merritt.
Troy Merritt, good player. Yeah, this is Pebble Beach, and these guys that have played it years in and years out, they know certain things about this, the grass, the way the shots you hit off the ocean there. I like to go with experience on this course. This is going to be tough. I'm going to go with Cam Young.
Okay.
Cameron Young.
You don't really have to bomb it at Pebble. You got to be able to hit greens.
Wait a minute. Is he in this? Wait a minute. That was Carson Young that's on the roster. Cam might not be playing in this tournament.
Yeah, a lot of the big boys don't play this one.
Okay, let me retrace that. I'm not taking Carson Young. I thought that was Cameron Young that was in this roster, and it's Carson Young, and I don't know him, so I'm not going to take him. Let's go with, let's take Charlie Hoffman. I'm going to stick with Charlie.
You got Charlie Hoffman. All right, JC, we got to wrap it up. Have a great day. We got to take a break to get to Tim Walton and Kyle Crooks.
Right. Okay.
Everybody have a great day. And we're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, you'll have Kyle Crooks and the head softball coach, Tim Walton. You're watching and listening to Pot Up Matthews in the Morning.
Okay.
We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peaceland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise.
Campus USA Credit Union.
QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, and watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wibby, Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Calling Gator Nation. You're invited to be part of Gator history on Friday, February 10th for the official dedication of Steve Spurrier Way at Celebration Point Promenade in front of Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Lots of dignitaries and press will be on hand to witness this historic event. And it's open to all who bleed orange and blue. It's the grand unveiling of Steve Spurrier Way. It's all happening Friday, February 10th from 5:30 to 6:15 at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point.
Welcome back to Matthews in the Morning, second half of the show. Very special guest. I'm Kyle Crooks, by the way. I'm not the very special guest, but we're going to welcome in two-time national champion, a guy who's been to 11 World Series, second fastest head coach to 1,000 career wins. By the way, he's won 9 SEC championships, but he doesn't want me to keep. I can go on and on and on. I don't think he wants me to. But Coach Walton, it's good to see a season right around the corner. How you been, man?
Good. No, you can keep going. This is good. Sometimes you forget just how hard winning is, and I had actually had a good practice yesterday, a bad practice last week. So sometimes you forget about all the championships, what it takes to get to that point. So thanks for sharing. Been great. Looking forward to the season.
18th year. With Florida specifically, obviously you had the previous stop at Wichita State. Does it feel like this is about to be year 18 now as the head coach of the Florida Gators? Time flies pretty quick, doesn't it?
It does. Someone said this to me last night. We're talking about kids, and it seems like the reference point is that the days are long, but the years are fast, man. It's crazy, but lot of good memories, a lot of good moments here. That's for sure.
What have you liked about this team in the fall? Every team is different, especially now the way the rosters fluctuate in collegiate athletics in any sport. There's a lot of turnover, maybe not as much with your team this year as previous years or with other sports I've covered. What do you see about this team? What do you like about this team? A group that I'm sure is still trying to maybe build their identity a little bit here leading up to the season.
Yeah, we've got a chance offensively to be pretty special. We're veteran-like. We've got a lot of returning players in those spots. We got a chance to be pretty special. I think the blend, when you look at a team and you look at the training, a lot of times you go, okay, what are the trends of that team? What do they do? Because when you watch a team or you compete against a team, typically teams have weaknesses, and if the trends or weaknesses the same, that probably has a lot to do with the training style. How do you train them? What do you do to get them prepared? the thing that I love about this team is, yet we train them all the same, all 16 hitters. Each one of them are trained individually to their strengths and weakness, to their skill set. And I think their skill set from player 1 through player 16, the dynamic is so different. You pitch Skylar the same way you pitch Charla, and you're going to get hurt by both of them. And, I think that's the beauty of the way this offense plays off each other. I do think this offense has a chance to be pretty special. And, I mean that not off of what we're doing off of our pitchers or in our games, but watching them train, watching them compete, looking at their numbers. When you start to look at what their numbers line up as, with all the different pieces of technology we have to measure things, and then you take the things that you can't measure. That's the heart, the guts, the brains, and the passion. And I think this team has a chance to be really special offensively. That's for sure.
And Coach, I want to go back to last year, and you never take any of these World Series trips for granted. And, maybe if you're a Gator fan, you take for granted that you get a chance to host a Super every year. And that wasn't the case last year. And that's what was extra special about last year. Going to Virginia Tech, that hostile environment, the way the game 1 shook out, you have the weather and all of that. And the way this team bounced back in game 2 and game 3, and you had some unsung heroes, whether it was Avery Gels throughout the postseason, who had such a great stretch towards the end of the year. That was a pretty special season last year. And that specifically was one that I know you celebrated a little extra, getting to the World Series last year.
Yeah. You have to, being a 13 seed, on the road, again, I said this in a lot of different interviews that, Virginia Tech earned that right. They were a dang good team. They were as good as any team we played all season long. They earned that right. And so we're on the road to a team, quote unquote, that's, supposed to win and supposed to advance. And, our team, are the youngest starting team at the College World Series, found a way to rise up and, get better. And, it did. I think it was huge. I know this is going to sound really weird, but it was huge, the innings that we got from all of the supporting cast, not having to use Natalie Lugo in game 1, being able to find a way to have Marissa Misimore and lead Haley Pittman. And, those pitchers found a way to keep us to a 6-0 game as opposed to an 8-9, 10-0 game. When you score 5 runs in the first inning, you think it's going to be a long day. And it was a longer day than we all expected with the weather. But yeah, it was, what Avery did. I'll go back to a moment we had hosting the SEC tournament, and Reagan Walsh was sputtering a little bit towards the end of the season, and as all freshmen do, and I'm not singling her out, they all do it. And we had an opportunity there to make a pivot and take her out of the lineup, and really probably rightfully so, but for whatever reason we needed that right-handed bat, that right-handed power, and some of the things that she did. And, we talked as a staff, and I said, I'm not taking her out. I honestly, it was my decision. I'm not taking her out. We need that right-handed bat. We're already going 7-8 deep and left-handed. And Reagan ends up leading our team postseason RBIs. And, I thought that was a huge moment for a freshman to be able to come in and have a really good postseason, counting the SEC tournament. So, I think it really started hosting the SEC tournament, and the run we got on right there. I thought we, other than the one bad inning against Arkansas, I thought we had a really good SEC tournament.
Hey, Gator fans, come honor Florida legend Steve Spurrier, as Steve Spurrier Way is officially unveiled on February 10th, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. at the promenade in front of Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point. Go Gators. We've talked about the Skylar Wallace season last year, and I think maybe you said it in a press conference or I said it on the air, but Nintendo numbers is the phrase that comes to mind. You said, if that's not an All-American season, I don't know what is. And I have the numbers here, but she's the first player that we know in Division I history with 70 hits, 70 runs, 50 RBI, 50 plus stolen bases. How the heck do you build off a season like that, Coach?
Well, I mean, obviously you say there's no way you can match those type of numbers. And I think that that's the obvious statement because of the season she had. But, whether it's an infield base hit, a stolen base, error, sliding into home at, from second to home. I think that, it's funny when you when you think of a player like Skylar and all the coaches and to all the, all the aspiring coaches, you go, okay, this kid's a really fun player to watch. I bet she's just God-given talent. And there is a lot of God-given talent, but the way she goes about her day, she wants to she's very particular. She wants to get X amount of swings. She wants to get X amount of ground balls. She wants to get X amount of video. She wants to get an X amount of intel. And when she goes into the game, it's about processing all the things that she did prior to. She's a hardworking kid, and I think that's it's very rare to have somebody with that type of ability just have a true understanding of what their needs are. And so I handle her differently. I coach her differently than I coach Charlotte Eccles. I coach her differently than I coach Kendra Falvey. But yeah, it's like I had a joystick in my hand at third base. How about this? I didn't even get the joystick because she's got so much freedom to do what she wants to do. They didn't even give me they didn't give me the cheat code. They didn't give me the controller. I didn't get any of that stuff. I just got to sit back and watch and enjoy. I said this 2 years ago that Skylar Wallace is going to do some things on the bases that are going to frustrate fans because you're going to go, what was she doing? Well, what was she doing? She thinks that she can score on any hit, any throw from any base at any time. And so therefore, I think there was a moment last year, Mississippi State comes to mind where she had a base running mistake. And then another game, she had a base running mistake. But I'll take those 2 base running mistakes for the number of games that she won us by herself on the bases and the havoc that she created.
Yeah, that USF game that you mentioned where she steals second, comes around on an error to win the game 1-0. And it broke the single season stolen base record all in one little fell swoop there. She had 52 stolen bases last year, which crushed the previous record. At Comfort Temp, comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Beat the summer heat and schedule your air conditioners tune up today, keeping you chill and the Florida heat far away. Comfort Temp Heating and Air calls today, 352-376-2366. I was at practice last week and, seeing Charlotte Eccles take some swings. She looks good heading into this year. Had a really good end to last year in the postseason, 59 total RBI. Sometimes you don't think about the numbers until you're removed further away from the season. And, I'm getting ready in my off-season prep and you look at the numbers and she almost had 60 RBI last year. What kind of year do you think she's primed to have? I know her work ethic. I know her mindset. What do you see from her in the fall and here in preseason practice?
Yeah, she's had a really good. This is the best fall I think she's had, since she's been here. Better than her first year, better than her second. This is her fourth fall with us now because of the additional year. I think she's going to have an outstanding year. Last year we had an interesting little health issue, and that was one thing most people don't realize. So going into the season, she wasn't 100%. She went to Team USA and had a weird injury with her wrist and hand, and got hit. I think actually got hit with us too. So long story short, keep her healthy. Start the season out today. I'd tell you she can have an outstanding year. She's looked really, really good, and the power is more real again. She's hitting balls to left center, more on the line. Last year her left field batting average, so balls when she hit to left field, was the lowest on our team to the opposite field. And I would tell you that as the season went on, her numbers went up, especially if you throw her outside. That's the danger of Charlotte. You throw her outside and she has the ability to drive the ball to left center. You throw her inside, she has the ability to drive the ball to right center. She has a pure swing, very well connected. But last year, as the season went on, she got healthier and healthier and healthier. And then the confidence goes higher and higher and higher. And I think that's what you saw. And I've seen she's had a really good fall for us.
Yeah, as the season went on, she most definitely got better. Kendra Falvey, we talked the other day, 85 hits as a freshman. That's the most since somebody Kelsey Stewart, for an SEC freshman since 2013. Game record, Coach, comes to mind. The inside the park home run was kind of a big seminal moment for her against Mississippi State. A moment, it was an eye-popping moment for me to say, like, I knew she was fast, but boy, she's fast. when you look at her here in year two at the top of your lineup, she's primed to have an All-American type year, isn't she?
Well, she's added a couple dimensions to her game that I won't mention. So, when you consider the power, she's never hit a ball over the fence in a game in all of her playing days, very few in practice. And last year she hit a couple home runs over the fence. She's hitting them over the fence again now. She's got the ability for power, for speed. I love watching Skylar Wallace run around the bases. There's something about the way she plays. It's just it's almost like a strong safety just getting after you around the bases. Well, I look at Kendra Falvey, and it's sometimes like a gazelle. Like, she just glides. And between Skylar, who's a different base runner than Kendra, between the two of them, they're going to be sub 11s around home to home. So if they hit a ball off the fence, between the two of them, I bet you, I'd probably say it's a tie between who gets to home first, because they're both super, super, super fast, especially when Kendra gets going. She gets really fast. But it's a different look to see the high-waisted, the high-waisted kid just run around. It's everything that you ever wanted in a 110-meter hurdle race from a kid like that. Got all the makings of that.
Have you had a race between Skylar and Kendra Falvey where they say, hey, we're gonna have a straight line speed race? I would assume Kendra would probably win that. What do you think?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know if Kendra would win that. It depends on the distance, because I think that, for the most part, I think Skylar's got a little bit more, a little faster in some ways. Mm-hmm. But maybe in a straight line, Kendra would win, and then in the turns, in the NASCAR style, maybe that's might get that aspect. But I don't even mention it to him, so I just leave him. I just let him be. I want one to steal 60 and the other one to steal 59, and I don't care who it is.
Right, they're all on your side, so it doesn't matter who's faster. If you got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief, not surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics, with locations in Ocala, now open in Gainesville. Number to call, 352-400-4550. Coach, just like any offseason, you have position battles, and I think that's part of the fun nature of being a coach and building a new team every single year, and it breeds competition within your team. Two positions come to mind. I'm sure you have more in your mind, but second base and catcher right now seem to be two spots that there's opportunity for your team. When you look at those two spots, how have they settled out maybe? And there's still a week or so to go here until the first pitch is thrown in the regular season, so things can change. But how has it shook out to this point?
Yeah, let's say 21 years ago, when I was a first-year head coach, I'd tell you that all of the fall statistics matter, what they've done in the fall, how they go, what that means. And then I'd tell you my third year coaching, we had a kid bat probably 179, through the fall. We played game 7. She comes in, strikes out looking. She comes back the next game. I put her in pinch hit again. She walks. For some reason, we hit through the lineup. She got a base hit, comes back up, gets base hit. The same. I never took her out again. She finished the season batting 379 in my third year at Wichita State. I'll say it, Katie McGinney was her name. She was a freshman. I'll just tell you that some kids can play in practice, and some kids can play in games, and some kids can do both. Some kids can't do either. Just because of the way that the competition goes. But I'm putting not as much stock into what the players have done to this point, because I think that against our own team, some hitters are going to do a lot better just because it's not the games. But Sarah Longley, and take nothing away from anything I said previous to now, Sarah Longley had a really good fall. She hasn't gone as well in January as she did from, let's say, December to August. Now you start to see Kayla Pollard, who's a freshman, start to have a lot better at bats and getting better. She's a shortstop by position. I've played her not predominantly. We've probably done a 60% second base, 40% shortstop. She's played more shortstop lately. She's coming on strong towards the ready to play games. Sam Rowe has been really, really good in January. Was one of our top 3 hitters in the fall. So Sam Rowe, Reagan Walsh, Caleb Pollard will probably all see time at second base. We'll have Sarah Longley and Emily Wilkie will probably see the most time behind the plate. Sam Rowe, obviously, as well. Sam Rowe's going to play second. She's going to catch. She's going to DH. And I don't know in that particular order. Reagan Walsh is going to play second, first, and DH. And I don't know about in that particular order. Caleb Pollard will play some short, play some second. Maybe DH a little bit too. Just depends on, what she does. I have a way about my defense that I want our defense to be at a certain level. Fortunately and unfortunately, I got 5 years of the best second baseman probably in all of NCAA history. Hannah Adams. Lovey Jung comes to mind for me. She was a second baseman, played on the Olympics, played at Fresno State in Arizona. She was an unbelievable player. Kelsey Stewart comes to mind. Asia Pakulba for the Gators was probably one of the Asia Pakulba is a Hall of Famer. I'm going to say it on this show right now that Asia Pakulba is a UF Hall of Famer. We might not remember her, but she was the best. She's a 3-time All-American for us. Made very few errors in the social media era. Asia Pakulba would be probably everybody's Hannah Adams. She was that good, but Hannah was special with the arm and the athleticism and all the other stuff. But we miss her at second base, and Reagan's done a good job. Sam's learning the position. She really doesn't play that by trade. She played some third base and second base for us last year, but she's a catcher. But so yeah, those shake out. If you force me today, I think Olivia Gigante had a really good fall. She's a freshman as well. DH, first base. We got a lot of moving parts. I think I can play Pal Egan. Here's the Southland Player of the Year last year. Had an okay fall for us. Has had a really good January. She's starting to hit the ball hard. So if you ever ask me if there was a sleepless night, I'd tell you I don't really bring my work home with me. But I can tell you that the showers are getting longer going, all right, who's going to bat in the 4-hole? Who's going to play shortstop? Who's going to play second? Who's going to DH? There's a lot of question marks still for us, and not bad question marks, good question marks.
Yes, and we'll get a lot of answers to those questions coming up here on February 10th in that tournament in Tampa. Ruse Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ugrainsurance.com or call us at 352-240-1779. So if you drive past KSP right now, you'll see a much different structure out in left center field, a bigger video board. Fans are going to love it when they enter the ballpark. Are there any coach features, or is there anything different that we're going to see on that video board and that fans can enjoy as they enter the ballpark and watch the games this year?
Yeah, we had our marketing meeting a couple weeks ago as we're talking about the features that are now on the scoreboard. And so I've been on our marketing people. It's hard. Softball season isn't here yet. You've got basketball season, and you've got gymnastics, and you got other sports that are preparing to start their season. So, marketing is operations and marketing, maintenance, operations and marketing are probably the most overworked groups on any college campus, especially as you start to head into the spring with all the number of sports, but trying to get them out to actually get the layout on the board and show us what it looks like. I can tell you right now, at night versus during the day, holy smokes, we're going to have to turn down some LED numbers because the colors are so bright and so crisp. But we're working actually right now and trying to get into some of the NCAA rules as far as figuring out what kind of a game day experience we can provide, not only from a marketing and promotion standpoint, but from a numbers standpoint, a video standpoint, a replay standpoint. And then you take in the analytics, when you start to talk about going to a Major League Baseball game, on the board, it says slider, 87 miles an hour. It says fastball. It says four-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour. And so I would say that at some point in time, somebody programmed the board to do that. So it's going to take a lot of work to get it to be like that, because somebody has to know exactly what that pitch was and how to program it. But I'd say there's going to be a lot of cool features. We're going to try to be able to, hopefully we can tie in, the music, the scoreboard, the gameplay, the fans, and just create an environment that, we've had a good environment at KDC Show Presley Stadium, but I think we have an opportunity to take it to a great environment, not only for the fans, but for the players and, everybody involved. And, I think that's what this video board is going to be able to do, is just do so many new things. But I couldn't even tell you what a lot of those new things are, because I'm sure there's, you talk about a video game. I'm sure that's like a command center control room to try to figure out all the buttons to push on that bad boy.
Well, I can tell you as a broadcaster, having pitch type on the scoreboard, I would love that. I don't know if we'll get to that point, but I can tell you, I still don't know how to differentiate between a lot of pitches at softball right now. But if you put that on the scoreboard, it certainly would help. So just, keep me in mind when you have those.
Like baseball too. If you're a right-handed pitcher and the ball goes left, it's either going to be a pulled fastball, maybe a cutter, maybe a slider. In our game, it's not much different. It's going to be a fastball. It might be a curveball. It could be a drop. But if you know the pitcher, you know what they don't have. And then from there, you just go with it. You say, wow, there's a really good drop ball by Sam Bender, and you're probably going to be pretty close to right.
Yeah. Most of the time, I'm about 20% right when it comes.
That's all right. That's all right. Elizabeth Hightower would be the one that would confuse you the most.
Yes. Well, it's a good transition to pitching. Hightower's back. Delbray, I know you've talked about it. I think you talked about it with Sean the other night on Gator Talk, but trying to get her healthy right now. You got Sam Bender. I know Liv Gigante has pitched prior to being a Gator. So what do you see out of that group, Mike Bosch's group, as you get ready to enter the season?
Yeah, number one, we're just trying to rise their pitch count. Get their pitch count up before we start the season. Be able to get them to recover properly. So today will be our first back-to-back pitching day. We threw yesterday. We had a scrimmage yesterday. Today we'll do a situational scrimmage again, just to get the pitch count up. Ben, I tell you that if we're going to march to Oklahoma City and paint paint 23 on the outfield board, we're going to have to get better in this area. I think if out of everything that we've done, Riley Trilachek is improved, and she had the finishing touches to her season last year. Olivia Gigante had a good finish. She hasn't thrown an inning since the College World Series for us yet, and she's close. Today's her birthday too. Happy birthday to Lexi. But Liv's been good. Olivia Gigante, freshman, she's been doing good. It's tough. Our hitters are ready for them. Now they start to turn them around a lot easier than they were in the beginning of the fall. That's what I think. If our pitchers can get our hitters out when our hitters know what they're doing, their stuff's breaking, their stuff's moving. But Sam Bender is a grad transfer for us. But right now we're just trying to, I told our pitchers last year, and I'll tell them again this year, that at the end of the day, I want them all to be prepared to throw every game. I don't think we have a starting pitcher. I don't think we have a closer. I think we have matchups, and we're going to try to figure out, who and what matchups. You didn't see Riley Trilachek. I don't think she threw one inning at Virginia Tech, and she threw all of our innings in a lot of other games leading up to that. But the matchups just weren't favorable for her at Virginia Tech, and they were favorable against Missouri for 6-7 batters in a row the year before. When we did some Katie Cronistert style, but we have to get better here in this area. I've been happy with them. As far as their willingness to continue to get better and to see improvement. But I think when Lexi gets back here, and she'll be back soon, I feel really good about her and the progress she's made. But she'll be back soon. Right now, we're going to go into the season with 4 pitchers: Elizabeth Hightower, Riley Trilachek. I would imagine will get the bulk of the starts. And use Sam and Olivia as a piece to that. Olivia, I think we started her against Florida State. And I think she threw 2 good innings and maybe gave up a hit and a run, maybe in her third inning. So long story short, I feel good about where they're at. We just got to continue to keep getting better.
Coach, and you look at the SEC, this will be the final question. Appreciate your time. And everybody, the Gators will be in Tampa February 10th, opening weekend. So go down and pack out USF with orange and blue. The home opener will be Wednesday, February 15th, I believe. JU comes to town, a part of a back-to-back game there. The SEC, 9 teams in the preseason top 25. That's no different than any given year. I know you guys were picked to win the league, but I'm sure you tell your team to avoid all the preseason nonsense. Let's kind of take care of ourselves. When you look at the league this year, is it similar as years past? I mean, it's pretty stacked, isn't it?
You choose your words and your motivation because, again, our players read the same headlines that you're reading. The players read the same things that all of our fans are reading, whether it be socially or where, on different spots. So, I told our team this year, I said, listen, I don't know what the vote was for the Gators to be the preseason favorite to win the SEC, but that's a level of respect. That's a level of respect of what they saw you guys do. You're the only SEC team to make it to the College World Series last year, and almost all of you are back from that team. And we were super young, and now we're super old. We got old really quickly. And so I told them it's a level of respect, that the teams in this league, maybe Tennessee might have a better pitching staff. Maybe Alabama has a better pitching staff. Maybe LSU has a better pitching staff. Maybe Arkansas has the SEC player or pitcher of the year back. All the different teams. Missouri's had a really good season. Mississippi State had a really good run all the way. They were probably a game away from the World Series, I think, last year. Georgia, so I think we're Kentucky. We're stacked. A&M had a really good, got a new coach that has a really good pitching staff last year. So long story short, I think it's a level of respect. And I try to present it that way, use that as motivation for our team to say, hey, you are good. Other people think you're good. So you need to think you're good. And I think we got a chance to be good. I think that's really where the motivation came in. I think our team works really hard. Nothing's ever going to, again, and it doesn't matter what sport. I know we're going to do it. Fans are going to criticize this and supporters are going to criticize this. I promise you, and this is a promise, there's nobody more blunt than myself. Mm-hmm. Whether it be on my coaching style, whether it be on my assistant's coaching style, whether it be on my trainer, whether it be on my sports, our sports information director, long story short, where are we ranked in social media interactions? Those are things that I'm in tune to, with all the softball teams in the country. Where do we rank and how do we get better? Do we need to get better on the field to improve our interactions? Do we need to get our interactions to improve to get better on the field? It's a chicken or egg mentality. So I promise you there's nobody more critical and more aware, whether it be socially, whether it be personally, whether it be professionally, always trying to get better. Our goal is to paint 2023 on the outfield wall for the College World Series trip. And the SEC is tough as heck. Our coaches are really good. As good as our coaches are and our facilities are, I think our players are better. We got a lot of really good players in the SEC this year, and it's going to be a grind. We could have 8 teams in the World Series. We could have, we could beat each other up in the SEC play and have nobody in the World Series. That's just the nature of the beast. It's going to be a crazy year.
Well, folks, I've seen it firsthand. There's nobody more in tune with every single aspect of his program than the man sitting on the other side of this Zoom call right now. We said it to start, second fastest to 1,000, 2-time national champion, 11 World Series, 9 SEC titles. It sounds good. Let's add some more numbers to that tally this year, Coach. I appreciate you always. We'll see you down in Tampa on February 10th.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Kyle. Thanks for all you do too. Go Gators.
All right, big thanks to Tammy, our producer, Coach Walton for Gators softball, and Shane will be back tomorrow. I will be back next week. Have a great day, everybody.